If you're a videographer who shoots in sunny conditions, but you also deal a lot with unwanted reflections, you will need two filters. A variable ND filter, which controls the exposure, and a polarizing filter, which controls the reflections and adds more saturation to the sky and the vegetation. The problem with these two is that you will lose some really good shots because you need to spend time switching the filters back and forth, and you always have to choose just one of them because these were made to be used separately, not at the same time. However, this filter kit is something special. It's a hybrid magnetic system, and basically you can have both the ND and the polarizing filter working at the same time. Let's see how these filters can make your life easier. I will show you how to use them and share some valuable tips along the way based on my experience. And a short disclaimer, these filters were sent to me by Freewell with full freedom to share honest pros and cons. No money involved, and they will see this video only after it's published. So to be able to use the Freewell V2 filter system, first you'll need to mount the included 82mm ring onto your lens. And if your lens is 82mm, you're ready to use it. If it has a smaller diameter, you will need a so-called step-up ring to adapt it to 82mm. These are inexpensive, and I will drop a link in the description along with everything that I talk about in this video. For example, if your lens is 77mm, you would first attach a 77 to 82mm step-up ring to the 82mm ring from the kit, then mount the whole thing onto your lens. My lens is already 82mm, so I only need to attach the 82 from the kit, and that's it. Now, this is the filter that you need to attach to the lens. At the front, you have the variable ND filter, which cuts down the light from 3 to 7 stops. It's perfect when using f2.8 or 1.8 apertures because you can maintain a blurred background even when it's very bright outside, and you can also keep a natural motion blur in your shots by locking in your shutter speed at double of your frame rate when shooting video. Behind the ND filter is the polarizing filter, which works independently. It has a locking pin or knob that you can loosen to be able to rotate the entire filter while it's attached to the lens. The advantage of this pin is that it cannot be lost because it stops at a certain point when you unscrew it. The back of the filter is magnetic, so all you need to do is to simply attach this to the ring you already mounted onto your lens. And from this point, you're ready to use the filter. The first thing you need to do is to make sure you tighten the screw, the pin from the polarizing filter, so that when you adjust the ND at the front, the rest of the filter is locked in position. The next thing is to set the right exposure for your shot by rotating the ND filter like you see here in this example. After you set the correct exposure, it's time to loosen the little screw, and while holding it, you simply rotate the whole filter until you start to obtain the desired look. In this case, I was able to darken the sky a bit and reveal some really nice clouds. Also, in this similar shot, I was able to do the same thing by adding more saturation to the sky and bringing back some of those nice clouds, which make the scene more interesting. Say, for example, you have a shot where you need to see details through the windshield of a car, but you just can't because there are reflections. Well, by simply rotating the polarizing filter, you can really start to see the car wheel in this case, and the majority of the unwanted reflections are now gone. And I simply love this example with the reflections in the water and how easy it is to just rotate a filter and obtain a more pleasing result. And together with the ND filter, which helps to control the exposure, it's a really powerful combo that every filmmaker should have. Here is a big tip. As I told you already, step 1 is to use the ND at the front, and step 2 is to use the polarizing filter. If you reverse the order and use the polarizing filter first, and then for step 2 you rotate the ND filter, the reflections in the shot may change, and this is not okay because the two filters start to interfere with each other. So always set the ND first and then the polarizing filter for the best results. This whole kit comes in a very nice case. It has a durable and cool looking design. You have some separators here for all accessories and a bigger space here at the front to insert the filter. You'll receive 2 protection caps for this kit, and I will explain right now how to use them. So when you finish filming and want to protect the filter, you have 2 options. Number 1, you can remove the filter from the base ring, just make sure you loosen the small knob first, and then for the lens, just attach the magnetic cap included in the kit. The cap has letters A and B, and when attaching it to the base ring, you need to use side B. The second option is to use side A of the cap to protect the back of the filter, leaving side B facing out. Then attach the other magnetic cap to the front of the filter. The front cap has a much stronger magnet, which is why they included this smaller ring to make it easier to pull the cap off the filter. And here's another important tip along with a small complaint. I think the magnet on the front cap is a little too strong. It does get easier once you get used to it, but my best advice is this. When you want to remove the cap, align the small ring with the small knob like this. If you keep your finger on the knob, it makes detaching the cap much easier. But if you try to pull it off from another position, you might drag the entire filter with it, and that is something you definitely don't want to do. I see the point of having a strong magnet on the front side, but still, I think it's a bit too strong. Other than that, I can say that the ND and the polarizing filter deliver excellent quality in terms of color cast and sharpness. I still use the NISI ND filter when I don't need to remove reflections, but honestly, I think every filter these days should have a magnetic system like the Freewell V2. Once you attach the base ring to the lens, everything feels natural. You can snap the filter on and off very quickly, so you never miss important shots while filming. The Freewell V2 is mainly designed for outdoor use, since you cannot use the polarizing filter separately from the ND, which already cuts 3 stops of light minimum. However, if you're shooting indoors with lenses at f1.4, 1.8, or 2.8, and you have to deal with powerful lights, this kit is still a great choice because you will need the ND to maintain a natural motion blur on video. I also like the fact that this kit can be also used by a photographer for slower shutter speeds during the day and getting rid of reflections like in this example. Freewell also sent me another very nice filter called Glow Mist 1/4. It attaches magnetically to the Freewell V2 system, either on top of the ND filter or directly to the base ring if you're shooting indoors, which is great for the times when you don't need to use an ND. This filter adds a soft glow around light sources and gentle highlight flares while lowering contrast and giving your shots a subtle cinematic look. But having an ND filter and a polarizing filter on your lens is only the first step in achieving great shots when filming. Sometimes your setup will need a good external monitor or maybe a handle, so watch this video next, because besides the camera cage, which may be different for you, all the other parts will become very useful if you want to build a good camera rig for smooth shots.